Have you ever been at that point in your business where things start to go really well? You're making money, all the opportunities are coming in, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in sabotage? Ever wondered, why do I sabotage my business? This video is for you. Hi, my name is Tiffany Toombs. I'm a high-performance mindset coach that has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs across the world to help them stop self-sabotaging their business so they can truly make the income and the impact that they want in life. In this video, I'm going to share with you the two most common reasons why people sabotage their business and what you can do to stop doing that for good. Let's go. Self-sabotage happens so often with entrepreneurs, it is astounding. So firstly, I want you to know that you're not alone, but I do want you to know that you can make change. You don't have to be doomed to this cycle of self-sabotage forever. The first reason that people sabotage their business is because they have limiting beliefs that they're likely not even aware of that are holding them back. So these limiting beliefs or upper limits become like a glass ceiling. And so when things start going really well in our business, we start gaining momentum, the action we've been taking starts to pay off. As we approach this ceiling that we've set for ourselves, what happens is it can cause us to make decisions, act in ways, or even show up or not show up in our business in ways that end up in self-sabotage. The most common thing that I see with entrepreneurs is as soon as they start making more money, they sabotage their income or their revenue flow in some way. They go out and they spend a bunch of money, they hire the wrong people, they make the wrong investments without doing due diligence, and that ultimately leads to them being in a back up against the wall, I need to make money now situation. So there may be ways that you're sabotaging yourself in your business that you're not even aware of. Some of the most common ways that people sabotage themselves because of these limiting beliefs are things like getting sick. You might think, well, Tiffany, everybody gets sick. Yes, and the body will also feel like it's getting sick when we start to approach new opportunities for our growth and the evolution of our business. When I first started teaching NLP trainings to people, I would lose my voice 2 days before the training every single time. And because I made the decision to push through and teach anyways, even if that meant I had to transcribe everything up on the whiteboard for people to be able to learn, my voice would miraculously come back. So getting sick is one of the most common ways that we sabotage our business. Another way that we sabotage our business, or that people sabotage their business, is they don't hear important instructions. So they'll hire a mentor or a coach, and as soon as the mentor or coach starts giving them the tools that they need to elevate their business, whether that's to elevate their marketing, their social media influence, their opportunities, etc., what will happen is they'll tune out, they'll disassociate, they'll lose focus, they'll get distracted, or they just won't even hear certain integral pieces of information because they won't even hear integral pieces of information. And then they'll come back to the coach and mentor and say, well, I did the things that you told me to do and it didn't work. It didn't work for me. You must be a scam. I'm just different, so it doesn't work for me. Whatever it is. But it's that they didn't implement everything that they were supposed to. That's one of the most common ways that business owners self-sabotage. Among the other ways that they ultimately just completely stop their progress and their momentum in their business. So the most common limiting beliefs that cause these behaviors is that I can't do it, that it's not safe for me to stand out or for me to be heard, that I'll be judged or rejected, or people won't accept me if I start to step into this next level of my evolution. I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, imposter syndrome. Those are all the limiting beliefs that can ultimately lead to us sabotaging our business. Now, before I share with you the second most common reason that people sabotage their businesses, I want to hear from you. These non-confronts, or these ways that we sabotage our business, do any of them sound familiar to you? What are the limiting beliefs you feel you have that are stopping you in your business? If I know exactly what your limiting beliefs are, I can share with you some tools specifically to overcome those. Go to the comments below and let me know. The second most common reason that people end up sabotaging their business is actually that their nervous system and their body is addicted to stress. Their nervous system is calibrated to being in survival mode. Now, when you have somebody who has grown up or they've had a lot of chaotic or stressful events happening, this could be in their childhood, maybe they moved around a lot, there was trauma or abuse in the family, they were bullied, they had a parent who was emotionally unavailable or had a mental disorder. Anything like that can create an environment where the child feels like they can't survive, and then their nervous system becomes calibrated to that state of being. When we're in survival mode, we are always looking at the worst case scenario. We're always looking at the ways that things could go wrong. And at a very primal level, we're looking at the things that could harm us or kill us. Now, it is definitely possible to make a lot of money in survival mode. In fact, I've worked with 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs who make 7 and 8 figures from survival mode, but they don't actually have the ability to enjoy the money that they're making. They never actually step out of surviving so that they can fully thrive and become more creative and innovative. When we are in survival mode, what that means is we are limited in our ability to be forward thinking, to think outside the box, to think of creative or innovative solutions to problems. We have terrible communication skills, we have terrible problem solving skills, and we are not good leaders when we're in a place of survival. We become very emotional and oftentimes irrational, which can cause us to make decisions in the business that ultimately lead to self-sabotage. This also means that because the body is used to stress and chaos and drama, that's the default mode for the body. When we start to get out of a place of stress, maybe we start making enough money so that we have time to do other things, so that we have time to practice self-care, so that we can bring on a team. When it comes time to delegate so that you can get some of your time back, people will often sabotage their business at this point. I see people who will make a whole bunch of money, like I said, and then they'll go and invest in the wrong things. Or they'll learn the systems that they need to implement in their business so that they can get some of their time back. But then that feels like, well, what would I do with all my time? I can't be this control freak in my business anymore. So then they either don't implement the systems or they hire the wrong people to implement the systems so that ultimately they end up in self-sabotage. I worked with a client a couple years ago who needed to start bringing in people to help him grow his business to the next level. And his nervous system was very much stuck in survival mode. And so when he was training these new staff members, he actually didn't show them a key part of the task that they needed to do, which meant the projects that they took on couldn't be completed, and it took him more time in the long run to go back and fix it. And he called me up one day and he said, see, I told you that hiring people was not the solution to my problem. And I said, but why weren't they doing this one step? And he said, well, I forgot to show it to them. But that's not the point. The point is that we end up making these mistakes at a very unconscious level that lead to self-sabotage. So how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this nervous system in survival mode? How do we get rid of these limiting beliefs? Before I share that with you, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out brand new videos just like this one all the time that are going to help you reprogram your mind, that are going to help you stop self-sabotage in its tracks and create the life that you truly want. So go ahead, click that subscribe button and like this video while you're there. So in order to stop this self-sabotage, we have to recognize the patterns of self-sabotage that we have. What do we do specifically that sabotages us? What is the pattern for that? So go and look at the history that you've been in business and even in your life in general, because you'll find that a lot of your self-sabotage patterns are the same. Then we need to ask ourselves, number 2, what was the trigger? What happened just before I made this decision? What was I thinking? What was I feeling? What did somebody say to me, if you can remember? What was the thing that happened just before I made this decision to self-sabotage? And go down this old pattern of sabotaging my business that doesn't serve me. From there, we need to start to break down the limiting beliefs. So one exercise that you can do is to take a piece of paper, divide it into 2 columns, and in one column put evidence for and list out all the evidence that you have that supports the limiting belief. Oftentimes people believe with such certainty that their beliefs are 100% accurate, but when we actually start to look at the evidence to prove this belief as being right, there's not much there. In the other column, list all the evidence against this belief being right. So for example, if you have a belief that all people who make money are bad people, then you would list out all the people who have money who are bad people. And these can be people you know, or they can be people that you don't know, but that you just know of. The second column, the evidence against, you're going to list all the people who have money, who do great things with their money. And you're also going to list people who don't have any money, who are also jerks and not so good people. And you'll start to see that maybe money isn't what decides whether you're good or bad, but money just magnifies who you already are. From there, we need to start changing the state of the nervous system, which means we need to implement a mindfulness practice. I have plenty of guided meditations on my channel to help you with this so that you can start tapping into the positive emotions that you want to feel more often, so you can rewire that software in your brain and in your nervous system so that you can start to feel positive, grateful emotions as opposed to stress and chaos all the time. Now, if you want more tools to help you completely let go of these self-sabotaging patterns, I would love to have you join me in my 6-day Mind Mastery Challenge. This is a free challenge where I've pulled together the 6 most powerful tools that I use to help my clients break out of imposter syndrome, overcome fear, and other forms of self-sabotage like overwhelm and procrastination. All you have to do to get instant access to the challenge is go to nlpworksheet.com or click on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.